Hello, my name is John Tepley, and I have the great pleasure to be talking to Callen Patel, who is from Denver. And he is a break dancer, and he is going to be interpreting one of the poems of Halyna Kruk, one of her war poems. And he currently he just came back from winning some national champions, and he could tell us a little bit about that for gold in Austin, Texas, and Minneapolis. He started out doing breakdancing in Houston, but he really got into it when he got to Denver, when he got to the B-Boy factory. So Colin, how are you doing?
Oh, really good. How are you?
Good, good. So tell me about the B-Boy factory. What
Um,
happened?
I got to Denver and I knew I kind of wanted to really start getting into it. And I got there and I immediately just found a great, really solid community. The instructor who runs the place is named Ian Flaws, and he just really helped me get out of my shell and really just start to get comfortable with dancing and practicing.
Nice.
Um, and I really just fell in love with the dance.
Good, good. Well, it's quite extraordinary that breakdancing isn't generally thought of as a dance for interpreting poems, and especially a poem about war. Could you talk a little bit how you are going to approach that?
Um, the way I sort of approach all when I'm trying to make breaking, because it's generally done in a competition format, which makes a lot of just the way you dance. It dictates a lot of the way you dance. So I try and sort of pull the movements and the sort of like the actual the movements sort of away from. I try and shift the light instead of like doing them at people and doing them in that very combative way. And I try and
Yeah.
use those moves as sort of like anchors, and then try and find how I can portray that like emotion or idea onto whatever that movement is. And it's less like um and then just kind of taking away that like b-boy attitude away from the like raw movements that make up breaking.
So so could you talk a little bit about how b-boy attitude and interpreting emotions, different things. Could you talk a little bit how that works?
um when I kind of look at it like I don't know, it's very hard to describe breaking as like a
Sure.
like a that like it's just kind of it's this very like I like it because it's this very like punchy like upfront like it's there, and there's no, it's a very like I don't know, concrete dance. Like everything is pronounced and everything just feels like it's always like um hitting and just in perfect like it's there. And I kind of try
So
and take
so
that.
so 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 there's not like a slow movement necessarily.
I
You
think there can be, but I think the this essence of breaking is sort of taking even the slow movements and just making them very like impactful and just like um I don't know. I feel like I'm always, every time I watch breaking, or the way I'd like to dance and try and dance as a breaker, is to try and make everything that I'm doing look like very confident upfront, and just like it's supposed to be there. There's no like I like the entirety of the movement to have this very clear and pronounced just sort of like hit, like you can see it in its entirety, and it's very um I don't know, big. It's very hard to describe, but it has that big like upfront attitude.
well, people are going to have to come see it, right?
Yeah.
So so the poem that you could you talk a little bit about the poem that you chose uh and what your thoughts are on the poem?
So I chose I Dream About a Bomb Shelter, and I really liked it because it sort of, it opens up with like a very like, it talks about a classroom and a bomb shelter, and it brings up a lot of like, it almost feels like a safety, like she initially opens it with talking about how they dream about not needing the bomb shelter anymore, and then the reality sets in of like they will need the bomb shelter, and then that bomb shelter almost becomes like a safe place, and then as the poem continues, the realities of what it would be like if we had to if you, as you're moving into like the bomb shelter, become worse and worse, and it just kind of feels like I don't know, the sense or like the feeling that I've been trying to interpret into the dance is that sort of like that almost it's really hard to describe. It's like panic, and then at the same time like your options are closing in, and there's no like it just feels like this like panicked sense of that image of a bomb shelter. You're being like pushed in, and you're stuck, and there, and as it continues, like it's not the reality of it becomes increasingly just like unsafe, and there's nowhere to hide.
Well, we've been talking with Callen Patel, and he tried very hard to describe it in words. And what you need to do is come join us on January 28th. It's a fundraiser for Ukraine. And it's going to be a marvelous time of dancers and one-act plays. And Callen will be there to say hi to everybody, and you could see what it looks like as a dance, as opposed to him trying very hard to describe it. Thank you very much, and Callen, we will see you in on January 28th.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Sure.